council of a highly developed alien civilization sends a special agent to Earth to save the planet from an impending disaster caused by human greed. One day, a meteorite falls to Earth, which is soon found by a team of scientists. However, when the meteorite exhibits extraordinary properties, a scientist is killed, and the stone disappears. Later, the meteorite ends up in the hands of a wealthy man named Arian, who aims to drill the deepest well to reach the Earth's core, aided by the meteorite, now named Spark. But when the drill reaches the required depth, an accident occurs. The mine explodes, killing many people. Only Arian and a handful of his minions escape, taking Spark with them. Before shutting down, Spark manages to send a signal into deep space. Simultaneously with these events, a young farmer named Tomaj leads a simple life in the village. Known for his exceptionally kind heart and noticing a baby elephant that has fallen into a pit and whose parents cannot pass through a fence, he saves the young elephant. One day, a girl named Tara comes to his village from the city with lectures about space. She asks Tomaj to strike a pose, which allows people to see the constellation of Orion. Tomaj falls hopelessly in love. The next day, Tomaj's farm is attacked by a swarm of locusts, completely destroying the crop. Realizing he is ruined, the man heads to the city to earn money. Meanwhile, an alien ship approaches Earth. At the same time, Arian holds a meeting, discussing the future mine that will lead to the center of the Earth, as there is a gas there that will allow for the production of a new type of energy. Arian demonstrates Spark, which will enable them to achieve what no one on Earth has done before. To prevent human casualties, he presents a robot that can be operated by a person synchronized with it. Tomaj reaches the city and sees two thugs on a motorcycle snatching a woman's necklace. Tomaj chases them down and retrieves the stolen item. Angered, the robbers chase after the boy and he flees. On the way, he grabs someone's bicycle, which has faulty brakes. Thus, escaping the pursuit, Tomaj manages to run into two men launching a large balloon overseen by a third man. They try to catch the escaping balloon, but it flies away. The angered men grab Tamaz. It turns out they were fulfilling an order. A young man wanted to surprise his girlfriend in such an original way, but now he certainly will not pay. In the end, they decide to make Tamaj work off the lost money and take him with them. Soon, the men bring Tamaj to a tower where they all live together. The leader, called the boss, explains that they organize original greetings. That evening, a client asks them to sneak into his girlfriend's apartment and set up a surprise. The men drive to the right house, secretly enter the apartment, and set up fireworks. Meanwhile, Timage discovers a photo of the beauty and realizes it is the same girl from the planetarium. Later, the men ask the client to report on how everything went. It then turns out that they mixed up the apartment number and set up the surprise in the wrong place. At this time, the homeowner returns and discovers the surprise. Frightened, the girl runs out onto the balcony, and while dodging flying fireworks, she manages to catch a glimpse of Tomaj. Meanwhile, not far from the city, an alien ship lands and an alien emerges. The AI warns that Earth is inhabited by the most dangerous species in the universe, humans, and advises against consuming unhealthy food. The alien heads towards the city, hitching a ride directly on the hoods of passing cars. Thanks to his invisibility, people do not notice him. Soon, he reaches Arian's institute and sneaks inside. The guards are surprised to see doors opening by themselves. One of them bumps into the alien, but the alien prevents the man from falling, and the guard hangs in the air for a while. An alarm goes off and Arian's main assistant, Eliza, comes out. At this moment, the alien is caught in a capsule made of ultra-strong glass. But since he is invisible, the guards think the system is simply malfunctioning. Arian rushes to the scene. He places his hand on the glass, and the alien places his palm on the other side. As the man starts to walk away, he finds himself unable to pull away from the glass surface. The alien instantly scans his memories of the drilling accident and the deaths of people. The capsule is filled with gas. Alien releases Arian's hand and breaks the glass. He then proceeds to the room where Spark is stored and takes it. However, Eliza manages to see something strange. She then organizes a quad bike chase and finds the alien ship. The alien finds himself on the road, sees the boss's approaching car, and pushes it away. By morning, the car ends up on the roof of a building, and the alien wakes up in a planetarium room. At the same time, the police are trying to figure out how people manage to park on the roof. Tomek sees his beauty and quietly enters the building, where people are greeted by a child, in an alien costume, who introduces himself as Tattoo. Tommy joins the conversation, unaware that the real alien is standing next to him. Then he sees Tara, who, adjusting the garlands, stumbles and starts falling off the stool. The man rushes to help, but the alien is quicker and uses telekinesis to gently lay the girl into Tamija's arms. Tara protests, demanding to be released, and when the man lets her go, she falls to the floor. But then he forms the Orion constellation, and the girl recognizes him. Suddenly, a fire breaks out at the neighboring stand. Tommy's tries to carry out the children, but there are too many, and he struggles. Then the alien uses telekinesis to move the children through the air to the exit, where Tommy's carries them into ambulances, and then he sees a flaming cabinet falling on a small green figure. Tamiz rushes into the fire, pulls out the body, which he takes for a child in an alien costume, and rushes to the hospital. Pulling onto the road, he tries to calm the injured one. Suddenly, a voice from the back seat asks Tamiz not to worry because he is an alien. Tamiz thinks the child is joking, but then the child suddenly moves to the front seat. Startled, Tamiz loses control and the car falls off the bridge. However, thanks to Tattoo's telekinesis, the car lands on its wheels. Tamij starts to run, but wherever he turns, Tattoo appears in front of him. Eventually, Tamij engages in a conversation with the alien, but when Tattoo accuses humanity of destroying his planet, Tamij still runs away. Then Tattoo discovers he has lost Spark. Meanwhile, Arian is informed that Spark is missing, and it appears an alien visited the Institute. His spaceship was brought to the laboratory, but it became invisible and they cannot scan it. Tamiz tells his friends about the alien, but naturally they don't believe him. That is until Tattoo enters their home. The men try to drive him out, trashing everything around them. One of them sprays Tattoo with an unknown liquid, and he falls unconscious. The friends tie him up and try to interrogate him about his purpose for coming to Earth. Tato confesses that he wanted to see Earth and asked for help finding his ship. Then Tato restores order in the room. At that moment, Tara comes to thank Tamaj for helping save the children. She is delighted by the number of beautiful things in their home. Tato makes a flower bloom prematurely and showers the girl with petals. After this, Tamij agrees to look for his ship. The men finally accept the alien into their group and take him out to hang out and have fun. Arian is informed that there is a scientist in America who has become famous for his successes in finding aliens. Williams arrives at the laboratory and inspects the found ship. He then suggests using drones he developed to search for the alien, and they fly over the city. Meanwhile, Tara brings Tamaj to the home of a sick girl. The girl doesn't know Tattoo is nearby, and seeing the suffering child, he takes the man's hand and makes him touch the girl. He sees her illness and also how the girl picked up Spark during the fire and hid it at her home. Suddenly, the girl confesses that she is no longer in pain. The happy mother hugs her child and Tattoo retrieves Spark. They leave, but the drones catch up with their car. Tattoo has to drop his disguise, and a shocked Tara sees him. At this time, Williams demonstrates to Arian's people a freezing gun that can be used to catch an alien, and he suggests freeing the ship from its cover so that Tattoo will come for it himself. Tattoo tells his friends that his compatriots, knowing that humans are about to destroy their Earth, sent him here to search for the lost Spark. Arian's people remove the protection from the ship, and Tattoo immediately receives a signal about its location. Tamaj drives him to the laboratory where Williams discovers the alien and captures him with his device. However, Tamaj comes to the rescue and frees his friend. Tattoo reaches his ship and, lifting off into the air, neutralizes the people surrounding Tamaj. Thinking everything is over, he waves to his friend and prepares to leave. But then, Eliza attacks Tamaj and beats him with a pipe. Tattoo sees his friend in danger and returns to Earth. He runs to help and sees Eliza plunging an iron stake into Tamaj's chest. The alien rushes to his friend and begins to share his power, but Eliza shoots him with a freezing gun. Then, the guards carry the alien away. After some time, Tamiz regains consciousness. Meanwhile, Tattoo is chained inside a glass capsule, and his examination begins. Arian wants to know where Spark is, but the alien refuses to give it to his captor. Tato is tortured, despite Williams's protests. Tamiz is brought to a hospital where, against all medical odds, he recovers and his wound heals before their eyes. His friends drive home convinced that Tato has left. they are suddenly cut off by a car, inside which are the same criminals Talmadge encountered upon arriving in the city. This time, they have kidnapped a child and intend to rob them of their car as well. But Talmadge refuses to comply with their demands, and he single-handedly defeats all the criminals, freeing the girl. From that day, Talmadge tests his new abilities, realizing that Tattoo shared them with him. In the laboratory, scientists extract a special substance from the alien's blood. At Arian's demand, it is injected into his veins. Arian twists in pain, which is transmitted to the alien. Tattoo breaks the capsule and scatters the guards, but the revived Arian turns out to be stronger. Then, from the location where Tattoo was captured, a signal about another alien arrives. Eliza goes to check and sees Tamiji and Tara. The man discovers an alien gadget in which Tattoo recorded a video message for the leadership of his planet. In the message, Tattoo explains that not all humans are bad. There are people on Earth with kind souls who are ready to sacrifice their lives to save a friend. The next day, Arian orders their capture, and his men head to the planetarium. Talmadge punishes them, scattering them around the room. Arian realizes that the alien's abilities have passed to Talmadge and steps out to fight himself. During the fight, Spark falls out of Talmadge's pocket. Tara rushes to help, and Eliza freezes them both. Arian retrieves Spark and the couple is taken to the laboratory, but in the car, they thaw and free themselves. Tamij tells Tara that he saw Tattoo and he is in captivity, so he is determined to save him. Arian activates Spark, causing insects to emerge from the ground, and one of the city districts burst into flames from all sides simultaneously. Firefighters are unable to extinguish such a fire. Talmadge comes to help and suddenly stumbles upon an invisible girl, whom he recognizes as the rescue child. Apparently, she too has received Tato's abilities. People barely manage to cope with the fire. The next day, Williams contacts Talmadge. He realizes he has unwittingly become part of a crime, and tells him that Tattoo is being transported out of the city in a freight truck. Talmadge gives chase. Eliza tries to stop him, but the young man fights her off while Williams tries to free Tattoo. The freight truck overturns, Tattoo falls out, and Talmadge lands beside him. They touch hands and a spark jumps between them, during which Talmadge sees his farm burning due to gas that has seeped to the surface. Talmadge admits that he failed to keep Spark safe. They talk, not noticing Eliza. However, William sees her. He hits her on the head, but she shoots at the scientist and takes the friends at gunpoint. But then she is hit by the boss's car, brought by Tara. Talmadge and Tattoo try to save Williams, but their strength is depleted and the scientist dies. It then turns out that Tattoo has lost his memory. Talmadge suggests taking him to the laboratory where his ship is, as only on the ship can the alien be cured. While the friends distract the guards, Talmadge and Tattoo fly to the laboratory in a hot air balloon. They infiltrate the building where a robot controlled by Eliza confronts them. Talmadge struggles with the robot and throws Tattoo towards the spaceship while he tries to outsmart the robot. On the ship, Tattoo regains his strength and his memory, but Eliza throws a grenade into the ship. It explodes, throwing Tato outside. Tato comes to Tamaya's aid, and together they defeat the robot and Eliza. Then Tato rushes into the burning ship and emerges in a small craft. They race to the mine, dodging flaming gas jets bursting from beneath the Earth's surface and break inside. Talmadge tries to retrieve Spark to stop the drilling, but then Arian steps out for a final battle. Tattoo clings to Talmadge's back and they fight together, but they cannot defeat the now super-strong Arian. Then Tattoo starts the forklifts and knocks over the drilling rig. It flips in the air, cutting beams through the walls and ceiling of the building. Everything collapses. Arian is thrown back and buried under rocks. Tattoo grabs Spark and gets into a small ship. They escape from the fire. The next day, news channels report that the fire was caused by Arian's laboratory, which is now permanently closed. The friends say goodbye to Tattoo. Talmadge tearfully hugs his friend, and Tattoo reminds them that people must take care of their own planet. After taking a farewell selfie, Tattoo flies away. The Bollywood sci-fi turned out quite kind-hearted. Finally, an alien has come to Earth to save people and our planet, unlike in Hollywood movies where aliens only come to destroy Earth and humanity. I think our times lack good sci-fi movies that would give hope and belief in a bright future.